Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name is Kyle. Tonight, it's Sunday, August 8th. Hope you're all having a great weekend. We're going to be doing a Yahoo mock draft here. This is a Yahoo 12-team league. I'm drafting from the 11th spot. And if you play on Yahoo, you know it's a half PPR league. I'm gonna just pull up the settings real quick here and show you guys what we're working with. So we'll go in the league settings. We're drafting 1 starting quarterback, 2 starting wideouts, 2 running backs, a tight end, and 1 flex, kicker, defense, and then 6 total bench. And then the receptions, it does say receptions, but I believe it's half point. I don't really play on Yahoo, but just trying to do as many different websites as I can. I'm going to turn the site off, the sound off, and then you can kind of see the picks rolling in through here. McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry. I'll probably filter a little bit and show you guys the draft board too, if this is the easiest way to look at it. But so far, heavy running backs. Tyreek Hill, the first wide receiver off the board here at number 4. Alvin Kamara goes 5. Derrick Henry 3. We'll pull up, as I make my picks, we're going to be pulling up my rankings here. I'm going to actually pull up the flex, and let's filter here by half PPR. If you guys are new to my channel, you should definitely leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're new. Check out theFantasyFellowship.com. There's a link in the description for my 2021 draft kit. You'll get access to my projections document and a handful of other articles, cheat sheets, rankings, and just a bunch of stuff that I like to look at. And I basically just want to be your little pocketbook for draft prep. So that's what we're working on here. Again, we're moving through the first round. Ezekiel Elliott, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, tons of running backs in the half PPR setting going in the first round. Let me just kind of pull up what I got going on here. Tyreek Hill was my wide receiver 1 in half PPR. That's interesting. He's going to get a ton of yards and a ton of touchdowns. I think he edges out Devontae Adams in that regard because of the rushing, maybe the rushing upside, maybe. But we'll see what we're up to look at here. Saquon Barkley and Jonathan Taylor. I think with both those guys, I'm not really interested in them. If they fell to me at 11, I'd be hesitant to take them. We see Stephon Diggs off the board here at 11. Knowing that I have a wraparound pick here, I could maybe take I guess Nick Chubb. We just missed on Nick Chubb, who would have been an ideal first-round pick. He's like my 6th overall player. Running backs, we can maybe take Aaron Jones here. I think that's probably the pick here. We got 15 seconds. Travis Kelce still on the board too. They're basically projected for the same amount of fantasy points. So I really like Aaron Jones, but Travis Kelce at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take Aaron Jones. We'll see if Travis Kelce slips through the cracks by this Michael drafting 12 and 13. I think if I just did a video and I took Travis Kelce in the first round, so I'm just going to try to diversify. And he lets Kelce fall through. He takes Devontae and DeAndre Hopkins. So that's interesting. We got 20 seconds here. My only problem with Kelce is he's my 21st ranked player on the board. Devontae Adams is my 8th, and Aaron Jones was my 15th in half PPR. But let me just look real quick. We got 10 seconds. Kelce still on the board. Gibson. Let's go ahead and just for this is how the board falls. I'm going to take Travis Kelce. So we got Aaron Jones and Travis Kelce. Tight end is locked and loaded. Feeling pretty good about this start. It's pretty easy. You want to take running backs early, and if you can get one of the top 3 tight ends, that's typically been the best strategy that I've been enjoying. And then if you don't get a tight end early, we're going to just wait to the back and make some kind of duo or trio of a bunch of guys. So I guess just to maybe give you guys a little bit different perspective, say Travis Kelce was gone. He was, pick number 10th overall, and I didn't have to take Kelce. I'm probably doing 2 running backs at that point. Let me go to the draft board here. I probably would have taken Aaron Jones and Antonio Gibson. This guy's interesting. Michael here, he went Devontae Adams and DeAndre Hopkins. My issue, I love the wide receivers. I mean, Hills, Diggs, Devontae, those are my top 3. I have no problem with those guys. But to get in a half PPR league, I think running backs matter just a little bit more. And because I like the receivers so much later, we're going to just hammer a ton of mid-round wide receivers and probably later receivers. So I think for me, valuing running backs at that early stage is a pretty good idea. So we're moving into the second round here. After I took Kelce, you see Antonio Gibson. I love Antonio Gibson in a half PPR league. Najee Harris, he's a guy that's going to get a ton of touches. Calvin Ridley, great pick. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, an interesting early pick here in the mid-second. Let me just see who's the best available. Austin Eckler, he actually loses a little bit of steam in half PPR because he's so dependent on those touchdowns. Wow, David Montgomery just went 20th overall. Mixon 19th. A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's one of the best half PPR receivers you could probably draft. Let me just pull up some of the So I have a list here filtered by flex, so running backs. The quarterbacks are mixed in here too, but that we'll ignore these in the flex rankings. But basically, any of these receivers here that you see, the top 6 in blue, I love all those receivers, especially in half PPR. They're kind of interchangeable. DeAndre Hopkins slips a little bit because he's going to have probably the fewest touchdowns out of the group. But I don't know, interesting running backs and receivers at the top of the board. And then as we get down here, we'll start to pull some running backs. So let me just check in back in here, and we'll go to the draft board. So we're entering the 3rd round. Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Allen Robinson. DK Metcalf falling to the 3rd. That's a really good value for him there. That guy Dale at the 1st pick. CMC, Justin Jefferson, and DK Metcalf. With the Justin Jefferson clavicle or the AC joint sprain, I'm not too concerned. It sounds like he's going to be out maybe 2-3 weeks, but we're a full month away from Justin Jefferson, playing in week 1. I think he's going to be fine. If he dips into round 3, I think that's a value for the most part. He's been a top 24 pick all summer. People are super excited about Justin Jefferson. So if he does fall, if you're drafting maybe in a week or 2 and he starts to fall into the 3rd round because people are just like, well, he's hurt. Well, he's not going to be by the start of the season. So go ahead and take Justin Jefferson there. And man, so far, 3rd round, we got 4 wide receivers off the board and a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. My stances on quarterbacks, I try not to take one early. I think for the most part, my philosophy on quarterback is I want to draft a top 5 quarterback that is going kind of outside the top 5 of ADP. So we'll look at some of those guys that I have in mind later. But for me, usually my first 5 rounds, I'm trying to pull as many flex players in the tight end if I can. And then that 6th round, there's always a guy that falls, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. I like Justin Herbert too. And sometimes like guys like Dak and Lamar are just hanging around in the 6th round. So I'm a big fan of waiting on my quarterback. I try to get the 4th, 5th quarterback off the board, sometimes the 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever I need. But man, Darren Waller, round 3, still George Kittle on the board. I just missed CeeDee Lamb, and I just got this beautiful new CeeDee Lamb jersey here. I just got it today. I'm super excited about CeeDee Lamb's 2021. But Cooper Kupp, CeeDee Lamb in the 3rd round, Josh Allen, Mike Evans off the board. We are up to pick. And again, we're doing pretty well here. I don't see any running backs that stick out to me. I like Chris Godwin. Amari Cooper could be a good pick. I know people are a little bit nervous about his injury at the moment here. We got 15 seconds to make a decision. So if I have a gun to my head, Godwin, Cooper, those are probably where I'm going to lay my spots here. So I'm going to go with Chris Godwin. Just get a good Tampa Bay player. You can't go wrong with Godwin. He's going to be our wide receiver 1 for us. He's best viewed as a wide receiver 2, but in our instance, the 3rd round, I don't really have a problem with it. Let me actually go look at the receivers on my projections document. We'll filter here by half PPR. Godwin is right next to Cooper Kupp. He's my wide receiver 16, so he's going to be a fringe wide receiver 1 for us. We're back up to pick. I don't really know if I can pass on Amari Cooper at this point. I really like Robert Woods. Let's see who I got here. I got Woods at 12, and I got Amari Cooper down at 13. So either way, if you have a preference, draft Robert Woods and Amari Cooper, one of the two. I'm going to take Robert Woods here. I want to get a piece of that LA Rams offense. So far, Godwin and Robert Woods are our wide receivers. Aaron Jones, our starting running back. I didn't see a running back that I loved here. We could have taken Carson, Darrell Henderson, Josh Jacobs, but I think we're going to prefer to wait and see what we can get just a little bit. And then Travis Kelce, of course. Now, if I didn't take Kelce, I probably would have continued. Just imagine if we didn't have Kelce, we could have Antonio Gibson. So we could have 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers through the first 4 rounds, and we can still get a tight end later too. But man, this is feeling really good. I got Godwin and Woods. We need 1 more flex, 1 more running back, and of course a quarterback. Let me go ahead and look at the draft results. If you guys are enjoying this video, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any requests for mock drafts, I do take requests. If you guys want me to use ESPN, Yahoo, Sleeper, whatever you need, let me know the league size. Let me know what position you need. And then I do want to shout out real quick. If you guys are interested in playing in a free fantasy football league with me, I did this for basketball season, and it went pretty well. But I'm running a fun league. I'm offering $25 to first place, and I'm just looking for a handful more members here. I have I have 2 more, at least 2 more spots, maybe 4. So if you want to play with me and a couple people that watch the YouTube videos, this is the Fellowship Fun League. winner gets first place. It's a 12-team Superflex League. We're drafting on Monday, Labor Day Monday. So we got a long ways away yet. But if you want to play, come hang out. Let me know. And you can email me. Let me put that in the chat real quick. You guys can email me at theFellowKGB@gmail.com. Let me put that in there. The private video. So theFellowKGB@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me, and then I will send you the invite to the league. So should be fun. Again, we're filling up fast. We only got a few spots left, so get in before it's too late. And we're moving here. Almost to the end of the 4th round, after we took Bob Woods, you see some running backs go off the board. Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, Amari Cooper, Josh Jacobs, Adam Thielen, Chris Carson, Travis Etienne, DJ Moore, Tyler Lockett, and Myles Gaskin. Now, I could have taken DeAndre Swift there. I just feel like getting a Robert Woods at that point, who could be, I mean, Robert Woods last few seasons, he's been a top 12 wide receiver. Now he gets Matthew Stafford. Like, sign me up. I think if you go into your draft thinking I want Woods or I want Cooper Kupp, I think you're probably thinking pretty correctly on what parts of the offense you want to get. So Godwin and Robert Woods, to me, a little bit more weight than DeAndre Swift. I like DeAndre Swift. I think he can be an RB2, but I think we can find some other PPR, half PPR favorite backs here. So we're moving into the 5th round. You see a couple quarterbacks off the board. And again, basically where I pick at the end of the 5th round, we'll see if a Dak Prescott is there, if Aaron Rodgers is there. Those are some players that I want to be a part of. And the cool part, because we have Aaron Jones, that doesn't make me hesitant to draft an Aaron Rodgers, because the Packers just scored like 50 touchdowns last year. So you're locking in 2 really awesome players. It almost doesn't matter what position. If there's going to be touchdowns, I want to be a part of that team. So, whoa, Leonard Fournette going 5th round. I don't get that one from DJ Fade here. Leonard Fournette's okay. Don't take him in the 5th round. Wait till the double digits. So that easily the worst pick of the draft so far. TJ Hawkinson in the 5th round. I like TJ Hawkinson. I also like Kyle Pitts. If you want to pull one of those guys in the 5th round, I co-sign both of those. And because they're going in the 5th round, you can wait, to then. You could pass on Kelce, Kittle, and Waller. If you want to pull one of those guys in the 5th round, I think that's a pretty good idea too. And it just gives you a little bit more flexibility at the start of your draft, where you're just hammering running backs and wide receivers. So we're almost up to pick here. I think I'm going to go ahead and start scouting some positions. Let me see the running backs available here. Kareem Hunt, Mike Davis, Trey Sermon's high on the rankings. I think we're going to hold it out there. Let me look at the wide receivers. T. Higgins, Odell Beckham, Jamar Chase, Juju, Robbie Anderson. A lot of wide receivers. But remember we talked about those quarterbacks? We can get Russell Wilson right here. I think we just missed on Dak Prescott right before us. I would have difficulty pulling the trigger on a quarterback. So I'm going to go ahead. I would have difficulty pulling the trigger on running backs, wide receivers. There's just a lot of them that I like at that position. I want Russell Wilson though, so I know that. I like Aaron Rodgers too at that position, but it's good to diversify and get a piece of that Seattle offense. So Kareem Hunt, Justin Herbert off the board. I think the value, a Mike Davis, a Trey Sermon, a Damian Harris, I don't really see the value there. I think the value at this point is the wide receiver group. T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, we can get the Cincinnati receiver. Odell Beckham is an interesting one. I didn't get a piece of the offense in Cleveland. I think I'm going to take Odell Beckham, who's got a really high ceiling. I think I need to get him a little bit higher in my rankings as well. But I could have taken T. Higgins. I would have taken Jamar Chase. Those are probably 2 of my favorite receivers in this round. Robbie Anderson's an interesting one. One of the Pittsburgh guys, Juju or Chase Claypool, could have been fun. But I think Odell Beckham has a lot to prove. And just based on how good that Cleveland Browns offense did last year without him, he the play action in Cleveland is going to be nasty this year with that running game. I just think the Cleveland offense with Odell Beckham back, it's going to be pretty solid. And then let me just, if you're hesitant on Odell Beckham, I like him in the 6th round. He's going to be our flex for us. He's our wide receiver 3. There's really no pressure for him to perform. We're not expecting him to be a wide receiver 1. But I just want to pull up and see where was Odell Beckham last year. Where is Beckham Jr.? So he, in 7 games, I think he actually, he got hurt really early in this one. So it was really only 6 games, which would have been 86 points divided by 6. What is that? 86 divided by 6. Let me do this on a calculator. He averaged 14.3 points per game last year, just in 6 games. So you look at some of his game logs: a 17.4, a 9.9, a 38.4, a 10.7. The 5.2 and the 4.4, not the best. Like, we're not going to be happy about those. But man, we got some a 10 point, 9.9, 10.7. I'll take those. But man, I think Odell back in that offense could be a lot of fun. And as a flex, man, if he performs as a top 12, top 20 wideout, we're looking pretty good here. So we're gonna go check out the draft board and see what we got here. So after we took Odell, you see Kenny Galladay, Mark Andrews, Mike Davis, Raheem Mostert. There's back-to-back Cincinnati Bengals receivers, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. I think some of the best players available right now, probably Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Definitely Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Tom Brady. Rodgers, the value on Rodgers right now is a really good deal. As far as running backs that we're looking at, I mean, Trey Sermon, Damian Harris, Javonte Williams. I really like Michael Carter. I really like James Conner. There's even some guys down here that we can maybe look at as backups, but I'm seeing a handful of names I like here. James Conner's one for sure. Michael Carter is one for sure. Trey Sermon just went off the board, but Damian Harris, the Patriots starting running back, could be nice. So we're probably going to be looking at 2 running backs when we're up to pick, or maybe we take a peek at wide receiver too. Claypool, one of the Pittsburgh receivers, is available. There's Debo, Michael Gallup. Where Gallup is low, Antonio Brown is low. We can maybe get them in the following round. Really good depth at wide receiver right now. We just missed on Damian Harris, dang it. Let's go back to this. So we're moving through the 7th round right now. James Robinson, Javonte Williams, Trey Sermon, all really good picks. I like all 3 of those running backs. James Robinson, I think, is going to do more than people expect. So we missed on some good running backs there. Robbie Anderson, Dallas Goedert. We'll see who falls to us. I think for sure we're going to get James Conner with one of these couple picks. But we might be a little soft at running back, but we have Aaron Jones locked in. We know we're not moving him out of our number 1 spot. So we just need to plug in one more guy. And we're probably going to have a competition at our RB2 spot, whether that's 2 or 3 running backs that we feel good about. There goes Jalen Hurts. Aaron Rodgers has fallen way too far. I almost wish we would have taken Aaron Rodgers or waited for Aaron Rodgers to fall, but this is looking pretty good value, number 7th round. But I don't know. We're just moving here. We're going to take best player available, but I think running back or wide receiver. Let me just look at the depth real quick. The wide receiver, Chase Claypool is still available. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Cooks, not interested in Houston. That's really the ones I'm going to have to think about. If I can get Chase Claypool or Deebo, that might be hard to pass. There goes Stafford. There goes Aaron Rodgers. Juju off the board as well. We're up to picking a few picks. Let me see what else we got here. Is there a way for us to, let's look at the running backs. Running backs I like. I really like Michael Carter. He could be a really fun rookie wide receiving running back there. So he could be a lot of fun. Veterans like Ronald Jones, it doesn't seem like he's a veteran. He's like a 3rd or 4th year back. But Ronald Jones could have a nice season, especially in half PPR. Melvin Gordon could have a nice season. Not interested in Houston. We're on the clock here. We just missed Chase Claypool and Noah Fant. I think I got to take Michael Carter here. He's one of the fun, high upside rookies. Don't be afraid of the Jets. This isn't the old New York Jets, the Adam Gase Jets. We're going to lock in a rookie running back as our running back too, but this is half PPR. He's going to gain some bonus points. He's a really good receiving back. And we just see our guy here behind us took Ronald Jones and Melvin Gordon. I'm going to go ahead and take James Conner. And if you guys haven't watched my videos before, James Conner is taking he's in Arizona. Kenyon Drake is gone. Kenyon Drake was one of the leaders in red zone carries last year. Let me go show you guys. This is a free, I think this is a free article on, let me see if it is free. This might be a part of the draft kit, but I did some red zone offense statistics here. And at the running back position, look who was 3rd in the league last year with running or carries inside the 5-yard line. That was Kenyon Drake. He had 21 attempts, 9 touchdowns. And I just don't, I'm not going to buy that Chase Edmonds is going to be the goal line back. He wasn't even involved in the goal line last year. He wasn't even in the top 35 of carries. Peyton Barber was used more in the goal line situation than a guy like Chase Edmonds. So I'm not buying the Chase Edmonds. When they get to the red zone, they want to go to a bigger back. Let me just look down here and see if the Chase Edmonds didn't even get really any carries inside the 20-yard line either. So I'm not really sure I'm buying that Chase Edmonds is going to be a all-around back. He's a good PPR, half PPR receiving back. But I feel pretty good about this right now. We're getting a guy like James Conner that can get carries inside the 5, inside the 10, in the red zone touchdown area. And then we got a rookie, Michael Carter. So I'm totally okay with plugging in one of those guys each week. And we'll see what happens. We got a high upside rookie. And if you're not sold on James Conner, the reason that I like him is because, one, he's only 26 years old. He's fighting for a new contract. And I think people last year underestimating how well he played. He averaged 4.3 yards per carry. He rushed for 6 touchdowns. He also caught the ball really well, 35 receptions. Pittsburgh had one of the worst offensive lines last year, and he still averaged 12.7 PPR points per game. And you look at his game logs, only 4 games out of 14 with the playoff game. Only 4 games where he did not deliver double-digit fantasy points. So I think if you're going to take one thing away, is to not be afraid of James Conner in those middle rounds. So let's go ahead and look at the draft board here. It's moving to the end of the 8th round. Look at the running back round here that we did in the bottom right corner. That followed up with DJ Chark, Deebo Samuel, the Rams defense. We see defenses going off the board. There might be some auto picking going on in here. Tom Brady, Ryan Tannehill. There's David Johnson. If we're looking ahead here, let me start to just pull out some names. I wouldn't mind A.J. Dillon on my team or an Aaron Jones owner. So A.J. Dillon makes sense. Kenyon Drake with his receiving chops out in Las Vegas now. He could be an interesting number 4 running back for us. Zach Moss, I think he could be a good 4th running back for us as well. Tony Pollard's just kind of a handcuff, but I think he could be a little more involved in the offense than we expect. Jamal Williams, Devin Singletary, just kind of backup guys. Naheem Hines. Naheem Hines could be fun in half PPR. I don't love him. Let me see where I have him in my projections. And then if you check out that 2021 draft kit, you're going to get access to all of my my rankings and my projections here. But Naheem Hines, I have Jamal Williams as RB 37. I have Zach Moss as RB 33. There's Michael Carter, RB 30, and James Conner's RB 26. So we got some, RB 2 flex upsides. Where is Naheem? Naheem's not RB 38, not bad. Let me see what we got for wide receivers. I think Michael Gallup is still available. Michael Gallup and Antonio Brown. That would be nice to get some extra receiver depth here. So let me go to look at all players. Let's just take a peek. A.J. Dillon's still on the board. I'm going to have a hard time passing up A.J. Dillon, especially as our handcuff to our 1st-round pick, Aaron Jones. I think that makes a lot of sense. And just the way the Packers are going to run the offense this year, A.J. Dillon, he's going to probably have a role regardless. If you think about the Packers offense, I could see it. Aaron Jones is kind of like Alvin Kamara, and Latavius Murray is going to be kind of like A.J. Dillon. But A.J. Dillon's a lot better than Latavius Murray, so there's probably going to be a little bit more meat on the bone for A.J. Dillon. So if he falls to us, I think that's the pick. There are a handful of wide receivers that I really like. Antonio Brown, Michael Gallup's one of my favorite wide receivers. Let's see here. A lot of good quarterbacks, a ton of receivers, a ton of backup tight ends. A.J. Dillon just went off the board, so we're probably going to pass on that. Kenyon Drake is fine. Tony Pollard's fine. At this point, I'm going to continue to take the best player available. Will Fuller is interesting. I just don't trust the Miami offense. I don't know who's going to be the leading receiver there. Tyler Boyd, he's better in full PPR. I think for me, if I want to be a part of an offense, give me the offenses that are going to throw the ball for 40-plus touchdowns. That looks like Antonio Brown and Michael Gallup for me. So I'm going to take Antonio Brown here. Actually, I'm gonna take Michael Gallup first because I have him higher ranked. So he's gonna be our wide receiver 4 for us. A great bench receiving option, and he is my wide receiver 25 in half PPR. I got him going for just over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. It wasn't too long ago that he was a 1,000-yard receiver. I think he caught 6 or 7 touchdowns in that season. But the rumor is Gallup has been being used as a slot receiver this year. They've been using him around more than just being an outside receiver. They've been moving around, trying to get him the ball in quick slants and just quicker situations. So I really like Gallup he could be your number 3 wide receiver. Like, he should be our flex. But we're going to have some nice options and competition here for our flex. You see some defenses going off the board. I think for the most part, a lot of people have checked out, and this is probably just a auto draft. I mean, you got kickers and whatnot going in here, so we're probably going to hang it up pretty soon. We'll make this a quicker video. We're going on about 25 minutes, it looks like. But we are up to pick. Again, a defense and a kicker go off the board. I'm just going to take Antonio Brown. One thing that I like to do as a fantasy drafter, I want to take players in awesome offenses. So let me show you guys a cool tab that I have here. This is in the back of the projection document. What's cool is I have each individual team as a tab. So you want to look at the Patriots, you want to look at the Eagles. You can see all of their numbers, individual numbers, and then those are compiled here. And this is my team offense rankings, where I have half PPR, PPR, and standard. We can just tally and see how many points each offense is going to get. These are my top offenses. So the more players you get from like these top 10, top 12 teams, the better. Like if you just say, I only want to draft players on these teams, that might be a pretty good decision. So these teams, Kansas City is first, Green Bay, Dallas, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Buffalo, San Francisco, the Chargers, the Vikings, the Rams, the Titans, and the Arizona Cardinals. I would break ties for players on these teams. So if you're looking at a player, whether it's, call it the Broncos. If you're looking at Cortland Sutton, but you could go ahead and draft an Adam Thielen or a Cooper Kupp or something like that, give me one of the teams that I have a little bit better idea of what the offense can do as a ceiling. There's going to be more touchdowns. If I go ahead and filter here by touchdowns, let's see who's going to lead the league in touchdowns this season. So the top teams, this is another really good way, because touchdowns are the one thing that's hard to predict. But if you get a team that's going to score a lot of touchdowns and you get quarterbacks, receivers on those teams, it's going to be a good time. So that's Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Seattle, Dallas, Baltimore with the running game there, Minnesota, San Fran, Buffalo, Tennessee, Arizona, and Las Vegas. I have Las Vegas offense getting some TDs. So Cleveland's a surprising team. They did not show up much in there, but they're going to lead the league in rushing touchdowns, I think, this year, or be one of the top 5, top 6 teams. So just another cool feature that I have in the 2021 draft kit. But I don't know, this draft feels a little weird. Let me just go look at it real quick. I mean, you got kickers and defenses coming off the board at this point. I don't really feel like this is going to help you guys out too much. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to just ignore it, and I'm just going to start checking some things that I like as far as starring some players. If you want a quarterback too, Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, those are fine quarterback twos. I think the smart move is to wait for Trey Lance or Justin Fields. Get one of these guys as your QB2s. They're eventually going to start. And both running quarterbacks, like they could do Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson type things. So these guys could have really nice second halves of the season. I like waiting for them as my running back too. As far as wide receivers still available, the Laviska Shenault should just not be on the board. I really like Mike Williams in the Charger offense. That's a team that's going to throw the ball a lot and get a lot of receiving touchdowns. Darnell Mooney, I think either way you cut it, the Bears quarterback position is going to make that offense a lot better this year. Even if it's Andy Dalton, he's been the best quarterback that they've had for how long now. So Andy Dalton and then Justin Fields are an upgrade for Darnell Mooney. Mecole Hardman, he's been having a lot of really good reviews in camp. And again, he kind of checks that box of one of the really good offenses that we want to be a part of. So I love getting a part of the Kansas City Chiefs offense. You could maybe take, at this point in the draft, take a flyer on Michael Thomas. And here's the case. Because at this point, what is it, round 11? Take Michael Thomas. As soon as the draft is done, you can slide him to your IR if you have an IR slot. And then you can just add somebody for free. So Michael Thomas, just a safe spot for Thomas in your IR. I think that could be a really good move. We're almost up to pick here. I suppose I can make a pick. Let me just go ahead and look and see who's available for flex rankings. We could use some running backs, Nyheim Hines, Latavius Murray. These guys are all kind of more handcuffs. I know Nyheim has a role, but I don't really love any of the running backs here. And I know I'm a little light on running back, but I don't mind going into the season knowing, hey, I'm a little light. I'm going to be more aggressive in free agency towards running backs. I think I'm okay with that. But as far as the backup tight ends, I know we have Kelce, but Jonnu Smith, really good option at tight end. Anthony Firkser is a really fun one. The wide receivers just seem to be a little stupid here. We missed on Chenault. I'll take Michael Thomas and put him in the IR slot right away. Good offense there. But I'm just going to shout out a couple other names here that I do like. Emmanuel Sanders for Buffalo. I want a piece of the Josh Allen offense. I know he's hurt right now, but he's going to be okay. Marquez Valdes-Scantling could be a fun guy to have on the bench. He's going to blow up randomly throughout the times. Rondale Moore, really fun rookie wide receiver for Arizona. I'm up to pick here. I'm just going to take Mike Williams. We're just going wide receiver heavy. I don't really care that I only have 3 running backs. I'm just going to continue to take players that I know I like and that are going to be, quality players this year in good offenses. And if I need to make a trade, I can trade somebody. I can go get a running back. I can, be aggressive in free agency. So don't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. Just keep taking. Just because I have 3 running backs doesn't mean I need to have Hines, Murray, Madison, Lindsey on my team. I don't really feel good about any of these running backs, right? So I'm okay with going into the season a little light at running back. Just be aggressive. Every year there's going to be running backs that just come out of nowhere and can help you win a championship. I think 2 of the last championships that I won, my starting running backs last year were Jeffrey Wilson and Mike Davis, both free agency acquisitions. A year or 2 ago when I had Damian Williams for the Chiefs, and I don't even remember who the other backup running back was. It was pretty bad. But you can find running backs, especially to win a championship. You can find guys that get you there. We just need to get to the playoffs, and the running back situation will sort itself out. Backup tight ends, again, I love Jonnu Smith. He's going to be getting carries out of the backfield this year. He's going to be, lined up in the backfield. They're going to be moving him around. Bill Belichick loves Jonnu Smith, so he's a fun backup tight end at this point in the draft. Anthony Firkser, Tennessee offense is going to be pretty good this year, and I don't know how you're going to defend Tennessee. Julio Jones and AJB and Derrick Henry. Firkser is going to get a ton of one-on-one matchups in the middle of the field, so I like him. At this point, the draft is pretty much over, so I think I'm going to sign off here. I think I throw out a bunch of names for you guys that should be useful, so that's going to do it for this video. We'll be going live, one of the nights this week. Maybe Tuesday night I'll do another live mock draft. We'll probably do a training camp update tomorrow night, but a lot going on. We got football coming up. I think every team plays either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday of this weekend, so we are so close, just a month away from football. We got everything right on the horizon. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new, and check out the 2021 draft kit. Thank you guys so much. Have a good rest of your night. Thank you. Peace.